Hello everyone and welcome back to Kaupr TV.
Yes, welcome. Sorry about the little short delay before we started. And to the viewers, if you are trying to follow us on YouTube or Kaupr, log into LinkedIn. That's where we are streaming at the moment.
Yeah, had some technical difficulties.
Yeah. But we are a modern company, so we have to be agile.
We have to improvise, adapt and overcome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what are we going to do today then, Leon?
Well, now it says here we're supposed to introduce the show. So I guess that's the first thing we are doing.
Yeah, and we will have two guests. The first one is a studio guest. And who is that, Leon?
That is Oskar Jepsis from Deploy, who's a friend of ours. And after that, we're going to have Torstein Tiden.
Yeah, he will join us remotely from Krakow a little later in the show. And in between, we will also do some discussions, but also share some videos from Bergen from 2 days ago. And what was that?
Yeah, we were recently at the Norway FinTech Festival in Bergen. So we have something to show from there. And we have a little surprise, I think.
Yeah. And we are also then producing not only the live streams in Kaupr TV, and we are having, for instance, interviewed the new CEO of Safello, Frank Schul, which returned as CEO. And do you have the vertical video to show a little from that? Yeah, here we have me talking to Frank in this studio a couple of weeks ago. But this is then available also as a recording, both on YouTube and on Kaupr. And I recommend that you do watch it, because he has been a chairman of Safello for the last 3 years, but came back 1 month ago and as a CEO again. And he has two missions at the moment. One is decentralized AI, and the other one is to position Safello as the partner for banks and financial institutions in Sweden. So this is a story also about the increased competition when it comes to the crypto exchanges in the Nordics. So that's the summary. That's the plan for today.
Yeah. But first we're going to thank our sponsors.
Yeah. So, and that is the leading crypto exchanges in the Nordics that have supported us. It's BTCX from Sweden, a major crypto exchange on the Bitcoin community. We have CoinMotion, which is a Finnish company, but it has moved into Sweden for the last 4 months. We have Bybit, which is a very large global crypto exchange, has moved into the Nordics. And we have K33, which is located in Oslo, a Norwegian crypto exchange, but also listed on the Swedish stock exchange. So we will have to be dependent on support to be able to produce shows like this, Leon.
Yeah, huge thank you to them for supporting Kaupr.
And then we will move on to the next step in the show.
Yeah, now we're going to get a visit from Oskar. Well, he runs Deploy. And Deploy is an interesting startup located here in Stockholm. And they plan to disrupt the private credit via tokenization. They scored top 12 at the Paris Blockchain Week and were the winner of the European Blockchain Conference in Barcelona last year. So, welcome.
Hi, thank you. Nice to see you both.
Yeah. When did we meet? In the beginning? Could you tell about that story?
When we met Oskar?
Yeah.
Well, the story was like we were in Barcelona and supposed to cover the Nordics, and we knew someone who worked at the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had headed home after the second day was finished. We were totally done, and then she messaged you and asked, "Did you know the winner was of the startup competition were from Sweden, and we were like sitting at the restaurant, laughing at ourselves, not being able to catch that the winners were from the Nordics. And then we sent you a message, and then you invited us over. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you as well for being so proactive and coming so fast. And yeah, I think it was a nice evening that we sat down, shared some things over nice conversation. So thank you.
Yeah.
And since then, what have you guys been doing? Because you haven't maybe been in a stealth modus, but still not bragging or doing that much on the PR stage. But where are you at the moment?
Yeah, like at the moment we're kind of live with the product, and I think we have geared up for almost a year to be at this stage, and we are just quietly and with biggest humble in our team to just build and I think what we are currently doing is what we kind of like foresaw is the private equity funds blowing up and the investors are not being happy about them. And that is also one of the like highest motivations that I foresaw like 2 years ago that it will happen, and it happened. And I was like, okay, this year is the year that we need to full force and push forward as much as we can. But I'm super glad that Deploy has grown so much in a short period of time. And
And what is wrong with private credit in the old way? Because it's sort of a hidden thing from many people. It's for companies. It's for high net worth individuals, maybe.
It's also grown into be one of the largest asset classes outside of banking. Yeah, what's driving that as well?
Yeah, I think one of the major drivers, I will start with the growing phase of the markets. Like why in the past decade it has grown so much is because of the yield that it offers. Like it is much more bigger returns than you would get in the public markets. And also at the same time, lending has grown tremendously in the private sector. You also can see so many also fintech-based solutions coming out in the past decade, allowing businesses to have much more larger access to finances, which also actually impacts the economy, right? Because in my humble opinion, like small and medium-sized enterprises are the backbone of our economy in every single country. It's not the corporates in general. Of course, corporates are dictating some part of the, like taxes and everything, but still the local economies are like something that needs to be supported. So yeah, they need liquidity to handle it, and of course they share the profits from the loan repayments with the investors, and that's been very attractive. And at the same time, like larger institutions like BlackRock, Apollo, or Blackstone, they're the ones also like pushing quite a lot in the private equity fund side. Simply because the yield is quite really attractive, and I think in the past I would say 5 years we have been a bit over leveraged in that case, right? And like why private equity funds are not so efficient or attractive anymore is because it's been in shadow banking for 40 years. Like it's not transparent at all, as you would say. If you are like an institutional investor, let's say a pension fund, you are locked in for 7 to 10 years without any redemptions. Like, because these redemptions that were in the headlines are just for the low yield based products, and it's not for institutional like that. And that is only 5% of redemptions possible on a quarterly basis, right? So 5% of your whole investment every quarter is only redeemable, and that is also not guaranteed. But on top of that, what the general partner at the fund would ask from you is the 2 and 20, so 2% on the volume that you invest every year, and then 20% on your success. Sometimes it's 15, depending on the fund, and there are, of course, rules. And then you have pricing. Pricing events are evaluating how much your investment is worth every quarter. So it's a NAV. and they present that NAV on a quarterly, maybe sometimes on a monthly basis, but that's it. It's still a lag, right? You don't know what's kind of like going on. And there's now quite big also transparency on the rating. So they use Fitch or Moody's. I would say like these guys are the ones responsible for 2008 as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. They also are the same guy. They had
Exactly.
rated
So,
the-
so it's kind of like a conflict of interest from day one that these private equity funds are having with these rating agencies, because they're the ones paying them to actually bring the rating on this portfolio, right? So how can it be questioned a lot in the space? That's because everyone is using them, everyone's trusting it. But I think the time is really soon about change, especially also about the ratings, because a lot of people start to understand that there's so much data available. There's AI development has been gone to that stage that anyone can kind of like develop as well. But what we're doing on deploy side is we're kind of like opening up the black box, right, of this private equity funds.
And what is your solution then?
Yeah, good question. So our solution is like replacing the private credit fund structure. So completely supporting both sides. Like we have the lender side who are originating the loans. They need capital to grow their business and issue more. And then the second part is the investor side. They're interested to deploy the capital. So these are usually the family offices or fund managers. They can be also insurance company managers that have a lot of liquidity, pension funds as well. So we just call them as a liquidity provider or LP in this case. And they're interested to, of course, generate the yield, generate the best return on investment against the lowest risk. And of course, they need to diversify their investments, so they cannot like just invest everything in one, like let's say public markets. They need, of course, diversify commodities, public markets, private credits, mortgages, whatever is the case. They want to fund the operations. But we take care of like what funds are doing, but in the sense that it is opened, it is risk managed, and more importantly, we're creating also the first secondary markets. Not in the sense that it's a solution, right? In a sense that we're also bootstrapping from the funding sources, the liquidity for the secondary trading. That also includes real-time NAV pricing. So you as an investor can see every second what is your investment worth. And more importantly is about how you can also incentivize the order book. And the order book can be incentivized also with intraday yield. So every single exchange, the spot market, right, that you see the orders, that liquidity is not being actually efficiently used. It can be only used if you add really interesting solutions to it. And there's really big institutions that are just offering. I think it's only one actually for intraday yield product. Intraday yield means like you can put your money in. Let's say you generate close to 4%. Per annum, but you can get the money back in T+1, so basically the next working day you can get it back. So that's the idea of the intraday yield. But more importantly, like we're also bringing the lenders to institutional capital, because our major audience for funding sources are these institutions, not retail. Because retail is, I would say, something later in our plan in Roma, but for now just more institutional, more global, so it's more efficiently to plan the liquidity. Yeah.
But what are you doing in practice? Is this an example of tokenization of real-world assets?
Yeah,
which is a sort of a buzzword.
Yeah. I mean, we tokenize private credit, but we act as an issuer. Like we don't wrap things. Majority of the industry, I would say, is too obsessive about just tokenization wrapping stuff. I think I would say that's not producing the value we need. If we see the ethos of blockchain, like should be independent, should be transparent, and so forth. So that's what we are also taking care of. This is by being also, of course, issuer. Still, we have some responsibilities to take care of, but we tokenize the so-called loan asset itself. So every single token has its own underlying asset that generates the yield, and is connected directly legally and technologically to the asset in both worlds, in the blockchain and non-blockchain world. So, and that's what we provide, and we take care of also the compliance, the analysis of the lending companies, and also of the monitoring them. And then, of course, bringing on the table deals. I think that's also one of the most important part is like bringing in the deals. Because my experience has been also in investment firm and also in banking. So I had some, I've really wide network of that. So for me, it's a bit easier. But yeah, I would say the value add is when you can like put up everything in one place and make it much more trustable.
How long have you come? As I understand, you are in business, but you also have built a backlog, as I understand.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there is a backlog, yeah. I mean, I think the first really big goal will be in Q2 is the secondary market exchange. So we have some really big 2 partners in progress to kind of like launch it. And then we also have one of the, I would say, coming back to Moody's and Fitch ratings and everything. Since we have the methodology, how we are doing, and also taking best practices from our experience in also in the fund. Because my CEO Rob, he was actually leading a fund of over 100 million, so he has also had nice experience. So we have gathered our brains and thoughts, and also from the practice, and we're bringing up a first open source rating system for free for every financial institution that wants to use it and also contribute. Because I think the world can only be much more better, much more efficient if we, let's say, ratings of, I think, one of the most things that you cannot monetize on. But they're monetizing on. So the same, I've seen so many other like new startups of fintech doing business in rating systems, rating financial products. Yeah, but that doesn't make sense. You still have a conflict of interest. So, and I think, we definitely want to contribute a lot. And one of our like dedicated soonest products within a month is the rating system, and then the secondary markets, and also we are working with Counter Network, so the secondary markets will be there available for everyone to use.
You called it shadow banking, and you're sort of illuminating on this business.
Yeah, we are.
and you even have said that you think that the package of doing this with funds will disappear or will be disrupted because of the type of business that you are building.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like our goal in the long run, let's say in 10 years, I think how things should be funded globally is like, hey, there's investors, they're putting up in money, then the AI and blockchain will prioritize where this money will go to. Depending on the yield, depending on the risk, depending on the need. Because currently now how I would say debt is being given out is without additional value. And it should be everything automated, right? And managed, because it's just money movements. It's not something that you need to go out and build and have physical presence, right? It's just...
Sorry, I just have to say, I think we're sort of running a bit over time on this now, so we need to wrap it up.
Okay.
Yes, but and you are 6 people at the moment, and moving into the market more and more. So when will we see great news from you guys then?
I would say, we're planning up to have something in about a month, so before summer for sure. So we'll come with some announcements very soon.
Yeah. And we will keep following. And to the viewers, this is a Swedish startup working to disrupt a global industry.
Yeah.
Interesting.
In your own back door.
Thank you very much, Stan.
Thank you. Thank you.
This program is sponsored by BTCX, Sweden's first Bitcoin company, and today a leading Nordic player making Bitcoin accessible through simple exchanges and OTC services. Bybit, one of the world's largest crypto exchanges. In Europe, Bybit offers its services through Bybit EU, a MiCA-regulated crypto company with a strategic focus on the Nordic region. CoinMotion, Finland's largest crypto platform and one of the Nordics' leading regulated platform for investing in digital assets. Now also launched in Sweden. NK33, a Norway-based brokerage and research firm specializing in digital assets, providing professional services and in-depth insights for investors and institutions. A huge thank you to all our sponsors. Now, back to the program. Well, now I'm going to show you the thing that I our new special, so roll it. Yes, welcome. That's the sort of the thing. We are going to play basically this or that. Here we're going to be shown different dilemmas. We have to choose this one or that. Simple as that. Do you understand?
Yeah, and you are then presenting the alternatives.
Sure.
Okay.
Let's see. First slide. Who did more damage to the crypto industry?
I think FTX, mostly because it had some impact on the whole industry, and also he had a very large brand, so very many
But wasn't
people.
this like 400 million in like an instant?
Yeah, but I'm not just answering what your question.
It's the biggest flash crash that has ever happened, right?
Okay, but that's true.
There's really bad quality on the pictures, by the way. But yeah, I think FTX as well, just because of he was so involved with the politicians and celebrities and stuff like that. And when he sort of went down,
I think they even sponsored the great.
Yeah, he was
football.
the biggest contributor to the Democratic Party in the US. So yeah.
Yeah, but also the football, the major football.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
In the States.
He paid for a stadium in LA or something, FTX Stadium. Yeah. Okay, next slide. Which one would you rather have in your portfolio?
I would prefer Ethereum.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's becoming the building block in the future of finance.
Yeah, but it's like, I don't know, it's the building blocks that crumbles.
Yeah, but I'm more of a business-to-business guy than a business-to-consumer guy. So that can also influence it.
Yeah, but the fees is so high. And
but
now with the layer 2
Solana is a platform
happening.
for meme coins.
Yeah, that's true, but that's all like fun and games.
Totally, and I understand that they are also building solutions for the institutions at the moment. So they are changing.
I think I would rather have Solana. I think
someone else are even saying the one that is investing heavily in Ethereum that it will move to $60,000.
Yeah, but what would dollars be worth then?
Okay,
move on. Next slide. Biggest influencer in crypto then, probably, I think.
I would think it will be Michael Saylor.
Really? But back in 2021, like the whole buzz was around Elon Musk writing on Twitter.
Yeah, but
Tesla
he has
Bitcoin.
all kinds of buzz, and he will move into the play at the moment with not only with crypto but also with payments. Because
but think how many like traditional investors who enjoyed like Tesla that decided to invest in crypto just because of Elon Musk.
Perhaps, but even he didn't hold the whole Bitcoin on the balance sheet. He also sold.
You should sell.
Michael Saylor doesn't sell.
But I don't know. He feels more like a preach sometimes.
Last week, Michael Saylor and Saturday bought new Bitcoin for $2.3 billion.
Yeah, I think currently Michael Saylor definitely is a bigger influencer, but the thing that Elon Musk drove, like the adoption for so many people. I don't agree. Okay, next slide. Most crypto friendly, Sweden or Norway?
Norway.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the authorities have been rather transparent. The tax authorities have had the same tax rules since 2012, I think. And they are participating in discussions, in seminars, in events and so on, While in Sweden, they have been hiding and giving warnings every second month.
So just because Norway is really good at taxing its citizens?
No, it's a part of the authority, and even also in Norway, the Norwegian Central Bank are trying to find out whether they should go for a CBDC or for a stablecoin or for another type of wrapping of digital currencies, and even also the Norwegian registry.
But Sweden has more traditionally been better for startups and...
Oh yeah, there's a totally other type of atmosphere in Sweden when it comes to digital, when it comes to money, when it comes to the finance culture, and of course, and they have really grown the last couple of years with the ETPs, which is then sort of a wrapped crypto.
Yeah, okay, sure.
And there were a couple of weeks ago, there were also a crypto adoption survey, all in the Nordics and also in the Baltics, and the Swedes are really having a large move at the moment.
But Norway is still more in your eyes?
A little.
Okay, yeah, sure. Next. More cringe, TradFi who don't understand crypto or crypto bros who don't understand TradFi?
One more.
So, traditional finance who doesn't understand crypto or crypto people doesn't understand TradFi?
Both have a problem, I would say. But of course, the crypto community is not only one community. It's a lot of different communities.
Yeah. But crypto bros sort of like what type of...
Well, of course, if you believe in like the
coin,
Bitcoin standard, you believe that the future money is Bitcoin, then you, of course, are interested in the macro, you are interested in interest, you're interested in the money flow. And that is part of the discussion. So they are really investing their knowledge into the traditional finance.
Yeah, and usually when you like meet people who've come from traditional finance who doesn't really care about crypto, if you start to talk to them about real adoptions and use cases and stuff like that, they get more interested in it. But of course, like the meme and pump and fun stuff, like it draws the attention away. Yeah,
but the problem with TradFi people is that a lot of people, they say that there's one problem, there's no cash flow in Bitcoin, for instance. But there's a value in gold, there's value in every type of activity, in real estate. So there are value in things that are not necessarily connected with cash flow.
Yeah.
So, but you have to learn either way. You have to be curious. You have to have an open mind.
Yeah. Yes. And that was the last slide, I think. Yeah. Okay. So, hope you liked this thing. It was fun. Yeah.
I wasn't prepared to be quite, but.
That was the thing. It's supposed to be rapid, right? Answer the questions. Do you like this or do you like that?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe we'll speed
no
it
more
up
fuss.
more.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on. I think we're going to show a video from Bergen.
Torbjørn, now we are on FinTech Festival in Bergen. Is this a place to be to discuss Bitcoin, crypto, digital assets?
Absolutely. So cryptocurrencies, digital assets, tokenization, even Bitcoin is definitely a part of the financial technology scene.
Are we then talking about a new payment rails? Are we talking about tokenization, or what are the topics?
So all of the above. Speaking for myself, it's been much more about, call it actual demand from users, compliance, regulation, and products, rather than the infrastructure as such. But there are other tracks where the infrastructure is covered as well.
Robert Eikheim, I have seen that you guys in Firi, you have been on a lot of different FinTech conferences.
Yes.
And you are using the FinTech word more often than before. Is this conscious?
Yes, it is, because we are, as you know, the crypto exchange, but it's very important for us to also move into new areas of business. And banking, for example, is all about FinTech. So we have a clear role, and we have an ambition to not only deliver exchange services to the retail segment, but also deliver services and infrastructure to the banks?
Well, looking into the agenda, I would say that this one has grown from being a small niche festival to become an equal player among the Nordic ones of Stockholm FinTech Week, the one in Copenhagen, etc. So indeed, when we also see, call it, the tension and level that has been put onto the agenda of not only focusing on how actually the native crypto assets like Bitcoin and all of the call it collateral size of how you function it into ecosystem is on the agenda, but also like we talked about with the Norwegian Central Bank, DNB, Nordea and others, of how it fits into a totality of an ecosystem of tokenized assets, tokenized bank deposits and other. And clearly, yes, that's where we see that this is an agenda to merge everything together to what it's about. It's about finance.
Yes. So where was this then, and what happened in Bergen a couple of days ago?
Well, this was the Norway FinTech Festival, which is sort of the biggest FinTech event happening in Norway. You were there last year.
Yeah.
This was my first year. But they try to get the industries together. Yeah, and we mainly just hang out in the crypto corner.
Yeah, you could call it a crypto scene, and it was, but it was 10 or 12 or something different agendas or sessions. So it's interesting that this had happened in the last couple of years, and we have seen the same in Stockholm, in Finland, in Copenhagen, that crypto or digital assets or digital payments is becoming part of the agenda in the fintech industry. And why is that?
Well, I can't really ignore it anymore. And as we talked with traditional finance people, they have been watching from the sideline for far too long now and realizing that they have to and want to learn more about it. So I think that is why it started to take more. Because these festivals, I'm not sure about this, but this festival has been a thing for a couple of years. But it's only the last 2 years that crypto has been involved.
Well, increasingly.
Yeah. Okay.
And of course, I haven't been to fintech festivals for a lot of years, but it seems like it is growing in importance. But it's not only in the fintech industry. And also this week, there has been sort of a treasury conference in Gothenburg with 1,000 people. And they also had 8 or 10 different topics on digital assets, digital money. And last autumn, you and I, we were at the Norwegian Payment Conference where all the traditional payment people from bank and finance was. And then we had a discussion about stablecoins. So it is becoming an agenda. It's not only for the hoodies anymore, or whatever you call them.
And it's really fun to go to these events and some traditional finance guy just asks you the simplest question. And then you just start to explain everything, and then they really enjoy learning about this.
Yeah, and of course, it has to be said that you could be in a silo, you could be in a corner or whatever, and not be willing to share your knowledge. And you have to be open. You have to be able also to maybe explain why things are happening. Both on the payment side and on the investment side.
Yeah, and the main stage, there were companies like Vipps and Klarna and
Revolut.
Yeah, Revolut, and those are... Revolut has, for example, begun have crypto products.
Yeah, they are part of what you could call a neobank trend, and even Klarna now has a couple of different types of crypto offerings. They have, for instance, supported a new stablecoin launched together with Stripe, and they have also implemented some type of crypto wallets. So things are happening all the way.
Yeah, and they talked about it at the festival, as they call it, that in the Nordics, traditional finance are really popular, branded as well. Vipps and Swish and Mobile Pay being the biggest brands in.
Really, really strong brands,
Yeah.
and then that brings us over maybe to the next video from Bergen, which we could show, where one of the keynotes was invited, and he has skills in both in stablecoins and in tokenization. But he was mainly invited to talk about agentic AI.
yeah.
So we also have a clip from that interview that we can share. What you are focusing on is looking at the trends in the fintech industry and the finance industry at the moment. And what are the major trends as you see them at the moment?
Great question. Thanks for having me. I think we do see a lot of trends, and I think the underlying assumption is that everything is moving very fast. Of course, the main topic has been AI, how AI has been changing the landscape overall. I think what we do see, if you look at the landscape, is that we are moving away from user experiences. So basically, the users are going to be controlling less and less things, and you're going to have you have delegation to agents. So this is something that we clearly see. So this is, I would say, one big change. The other one is that you have, the question is, how is the fact that you have AI and agents now being, I would say, everywhere, how does this affect the incumbents, the challengers, the business models? So we see lots of change on that one as well. Everyone is trying to adapt. So I would say this is one big block of change. The other one, when it comes to payments, I think we see a shift to multi-rail programmable payments. So I would say that's the second one. A big discussion block also is blockchain, and I would say mainly stablecoins. So when it comes to stablecoins, what we do see is that this is affecting mostly not the retail side, but the business-to-business side and basically the liquidity side. So it's becoming infrastructure for liquidity on the B2B side, slowly, but that's a trend that we see. And of course, you do have, I mean, that was an existing trend. Wallets are, I would say, dominant as we speak today. And the question is how wallets are also going to be impacted by all of these changes. So I would say that these are some of the main trends in a nutshell.
So it's major and several trends working in the same direction, disrupting the industry?
You could say that. So you have lots, there's no one thing. You have lots of things together, with the main ones being the driving seat, being AI, agents, and I would say stablecoins as well. And then the question is how all of these they come together, and how do they influence how the final outcome.
Yes, and this is part of a longer interview that we have done. That will be then also published and be available on YouTube and also on Kaupr TV page. And he was talking about a lot of different trends, like stablecoins, like tokenization, and also about agentic AI and agentic commerce. And he said all of them are more or less moving not in the same direction, but in tempo, and the speed is fast. And both you and I, we also follow these other guys, the leading brands in the Nordics, Klarna, Revolut, and Vipps. And what do the future look like for them? Do you know?
Well, according to him, it's going to be a big change happening within the next 3 months. Didn't you ask him?
Yeah, it was Rune from Vipps. He told that they in the company they had a strategic meeting the other day, and the plan was to outline the strategy for the next 3 years. But they ended up and tried to discuss what was happening the next 3 months. And even then, they didn't have the answers. So they were prepared to be very, very agile. And so you have to be following the trends, and you have to be trying to find out what is your position. But one main topic that these guys at least shared was that you have to keep the brand relevant. And you have to keep the brand in the user interface in some or other way. But will that happen when the agents start moving on and doing the shopping and payment for all of us?
Well, the agents probably don't care what your brand name is, really, but
Their solution on that was that they had to present themselves also for the agents.
yeah, that we're going to like adapt. Basically, AI marketing is becoming marketing for AI and not automated marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's true. That's
yeah.
true. So this is, of course, then a movement that is hitting the whole finance industry, and we believe it will also hit the fintech industry, not only the traditional banks, but also the industry that maybe the last 10 or 15 years have been quite modern. Maybe they also have to wake up to understand that things are happening because the neobanks are moving.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, thing has happened really fast lately, so, and that sort of moves us into our next topic as well, which is sort of like the ugly part, maybe, about this whole situation.
Yeah, we can see how that works, and then we will welcome Torstein Tinn.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the invite.
Hello, Torstein. Right now you are in Krakow?
Yes, unfortunately, not all of our clients are in the Nordics, so we need to travel a bit outside of the Nordics as well.
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
For people that don't know Torstein, he has a background in working in the Norwegian tax authorities. He has worked also in one of the largest or main crypto exchanges in Norway, NBX, and he has also worked in a Jed group, which is sort of also supporting different types of hedge funds or also in the crypto space. But lately you have sort of become a forensic reporter because there have been a lot of hacks, and you have also reported on a lot of them.
It says here in my notes that when DeFi burns, Torstein Tinn is usually one of the first to dig into why.
Yes, I'm not sure I like the position of representing the ugly part of Web3, but that's another aspect. Yes, I find it very interesting, and in general, I like to know why things happen for pretty much anything. And of course, working in the cross section between TradFi and blockchain or Web3, we need to know what the actual risk exposure is and what is happening and so on. And I think digging into these different hacks is a very good learning lesson on what actually goes wrong and what the attack vectors are and so on. So we can actually guide sufficiently on it.
And what is the recent great hack, Aave, which has been sort of a darling for many people in the DeFi space, has also been hit, but also a couple of other companies?
Why they're hit?
What have been happening, and is it programmable error? Is it someone has found a backdoor? Or what did happen?
I think there are different attack vectors, but mainly what we've seen the last year is that the bridges, so not the protocols themselves, they're secure, the technology is secure, but the bridges, when you move assets from one blockchain to another, I think that is the most common attack vector. We also see from third parties that North Korea is very active, and the Lazarus Group, and for this latest hack, I think that their subunit trader is probably the one doing the hacking. But we see this from the pattern that how they're doing it, and not really being able to identify the wallets and so on, but from pattern and from probability.
Is it then mainly these decentralized protocols that are hit, or what happens in the more centralized industry? There has also been other types of events. For instance, last autumn there was $19 billion liquidated after Trump did some things on the tariff side.
I think the Trump stories can have its own show, but and the tweets and the backdoor trading there, but that's another story. But I think it's wrong to say that it's mainly DeFi that is being hacked. It's not the DeFi protocols itself. It is the infrastructure that it's built on. We saw a couple of months ago the dependency on AVS nodes, for instance, right, which actually has nothing to do with blockchain. It is a traditional infrastructure, but still it's a vulnerability aspect of it, and it's not as decentralized as one thinks. And it is the cross section between the blockchains and so on that is not well enough developed as of now, and definitely a security issue. And it kind of falls between two chairs as well in regards to who's responsible.
And it seems like also the DeFi industry is sort of trying to support each other at the moment. They are helping with loans, helping with some funding. Is that necessary that the industry comes together in some way?
I think we see definite shifts in how this is being governed. You see Aave protocol trying to secure it, and so on, but you also see Torchain, for instance, taking a stance, being neutral, not intervening. So you see a definite shift here in the DeFi industry. And as you mentioned on the this or that chat, right? What are DeFi bros? I think we see that it's being segmented more and more. So as you say, some actors are really stepping up and locking funds, freezing funds, collaborating with investigators and so on. And then that kind of defies the whole DeFi concept. So that's another wormhole. While others say that, okay, it's just a protocol where we can't touch it, like the Torchain and so on. So you're seeing a very fragmented space. And I think it will be interesting to see from the community which side will be chosen. And I think, like we've discussed here as well, from traditional finance, they are dependent on this, that you're able to freeze funds, you're dependent on KYC and so on. So I think you will see a more and more clear cut or a differentiation here in this space.
So do you think then DeFi in a more controlled or mature way will be part of the regular digital asset industry going forward, or will this end up with centralized exchanges controlling everything?
I definitely think that DeFi will be a central part of traditional finance. The technology is safe. The isolated technology, the lending protocols and so on, that is not the layer that has been hacked. What we see is the bigger institutions coming in, but they're building their own infrastructure in more of a closed loop infrastructure, which is safe. We've seen a lot of money flowing in from the larger American and UK banks, and they have not been hit at all by these breaches. And that is because they're segregating they're using the technology that exists today, but closing it in their own infrastructure. So I think that's one of the interesting shifts that we're seeing.
Yes, and for people that want to know more about these things, we will recommend the Substack newsletter that you are pushing out, because if there is something happening in the market, you can be quite sure that the day after something, Torsten has figured it out.
Much appreciated. Well, I tried to. Yes. Well, okay.
Yeah, and you have also add a flavor, a personal flavor in the stories, so you can also laugh a little when you are reading through the stories. So thank you very much, then, Torstein, for sharing your knowledge, and we recommend that people are following Torstein on social and also then his newsletter.
Thank you very much.
So where are we ending now then, Leon?
It says we should talk about events.
Yes, and to be quite clear, first the recordings of these shows, they will be available both on LinkedIn and on YouTube and on Kaupr, on the TV side there. But going forward, there will also be several interesting events in the Nordics. And one major one is the Nordic Blockchain Conference in Stockholm, which will take place in the end of May. And we were there last year also, Leon. And what can people expect on a conference like this?
A lot of people talking about crypto.
Yes, but there's quite a varied type of topics because you have the blockchain, you have the digital assets, you have crypto, you have also building things on blockchain, and of course you have the stablecoin will probably be quite important.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's because it was the first event that I went to like this, but it was definitely one of the more insightful events.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the most insightful events in the Nordics.
Yeah, and of course there's also a place to connect because there will be about 1,000 people and 100 speakers, I think, and people are not only coming from the Nordics but also from outside of the Nordics to connect. And the next one is a local one, or we could say there's a Bitcoin conference happening in August in the city of Bodø, which is the north of the polar circle.
You know, Bodø just beating football teams in Champions League and hosting Bitcoin events. That's what they do.
Yeah, and there's a local founder, Glenn, which has come up with the idea that he should create a Bitcoin conference in Bodø. And of course, he was inspired by Bodø/Glimt and all types of that the impossible things are possible in the North Norwegian way of thinking.
There's something in the water.
Yeah, and I think that he reached out to one of the major Bitcoin event organizations in the States, and they are now partnering up with this one. And I think Ed, one of them, said that this is so crazy that it might work.
Yeah.
And they have already about 20 speakers and support from here and there. And we were also last year at the Bitcoin BTC Hell conference in Helsinki, having 1,200 people, more or less, for the first year.
Mm.
So there is a Bitcoin interest in the Nordics, and this will also be a cultural phenomenon, not only speakers or keynotes talking about things, but also
they will have sermons and cultural.
Yeah, and they the venue is also one of the largest cultural arenas in Bodø. So we have created a story about them, and you can find it on Kaupr, and the tickets are out there at the moment. So it will be interesting to see how that turns out. And when we are wrapping up, then we could also say that we will then share recordings. We have also gradually built out a landing page on Kaupr, which is kaupr.io/TV. And you can see it in several languages while we are focusing on English on this page. And there you have the main upcoming show, but we will also gradually build out different types of recordings. In this case, we have picked out 3 of the guests that we have had. The first one in January, we had Marco Poblete from Bitwise, and then we had Christian Ander breaking the news about wanting to partner
Messing up our whole schedule.
Yeah, he wanted to partner up with other crypto exchanges in the Nordics. We haven't found out what is happening yet, though. But and we also had a separate talk with Frank Insafello outside of the live event. So all these and all types of news you will eventually find also then on this landing page. We will be back in May.
Yeah, we may try.
Yeah.
We may be back.
So thank you very much then for watching. And as we have said, this will also be available as a recording. Thank you very much.
Thank you.